Hi, and welcome to the latest wealthmanagement.com Fast Chat. My name is Diana Britton. I'm the managing editor here at wealthmanagement.com. And I'm talking today with Andrew Urbanski. He's a private wealth financial advisor and managing director of investments and senior portfolio manager at Wells Fargo Advisors. We're talking about transitioning your business today. Andrew, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about your role at Wells Fargo and about your practice.
Sure. We work with about 100 households, mostly high net worth, some mass affluent. So typical household is somewhere between 5 and 15 million of assets under management and net worth in the 10 to 25 range, with some outliers, a relatively young and fast growing clientele. Very proud of my clients. They're typically movers and shakers, in their early 30s to early 50s, some retirees, but that's sort of how the practice has evolved.
That's great. Well, tell me a little bit about when you joined Wells Fargo Advisors and why did you decide to move over there?
It was a long due diligence process, and candidly, Wells Fargo Private Bank reached out to me about 2.5 years before I eventually made the move. I was reluctant to take the call because of what was happening in the news headlines, and also because of where I was in my career. I was still in the middle of a contract at a competitor firm. I took the call, and it was beyond expectation. And those conversations and that diligence process continued. But I also did diligence on the entire field of play, from independent broker-dealers to the RIA platforms, including roll-ups like Steward Partners and Focus, and then the majors. I did a very deep due diligence on JP Morgan. But it was the people. If I had to narrow it down to one thing, the quality of people here are absolutely incredible in terms of their skills, their attitudes. It's just a very different place compared to what I've experienced. And I've been in, I think, 10 offices across 3 firms. And that's in New York City, Westchester, Fairfield County. So I've seen a bit. And then there's just a whole lot of structural advantages to this firm versus others.
Yeah, there's a lot of due diligence involved in making a big move like that. How did you feel that the firm has invested in your growth as an advisor?
I feel great about it. I think there's a big difference between an actual investment in growth and a perceived investment in growth. And we, as practitioners and business owners, we know and feel the difference. And here, there are ways that growth is supported. It's very black and white. And the payout grid is one that's quite obvious. They incentivize growth. I think that's wise. And it's not that they're disincentivizing you if you don't grow, but they're basically saying in black and white, dollars and cents, if you want to invest in your business, we want to invest with you. And for me, that was extraordinarily important. Outside of that, just the scalability that you achieve here. I think as a practitioner, the greater the breadth and depth of client need, the better this platform is. That being said, it's also the only platform, I think, where you can sit in a bank branch and do, a couple $100,000 in production and be warmly welcomed and supported. My business is robust. The clients I serve have real needs, and I love that. I like to feel needed, and we love customizing the services for those clients and families. It's the best part of this business. It's very important for people to feel that their money is safe. I think clients feel safe here, right? And that already narrows the field, right, to 4 players domestically. And then beyond that, services like special needs trust experts and planners and fiduciaries all of that's in-house. Fiduciary services here, because they're in-house, cost the client in order of magnitude less than they would if they tried to do it at a different firm. And I know this for a fact because I did it at those other firms. So I think in terms of the value proposition to clients who have real needs, there's absolutely no better platform, right? Clients speak with their money, and we expect them to. So, when my business increases by 46% in the first full 12 months of production here, by every metric, assets, revenue, all of it, that's a testament to the platform, right? And the services that I can provide and the scale that I can bring.
That's great. I know that's a big worry for advisors in making these types of transitions. Are these programs only available to top producing advisors?
No. So speaking of, in response to your first statement there, there's a lot of fear about transitioning your life's work, and that you have to add value in that transition. It's not a selfish decision. It's hard. I gave up millions of dollars of deferred compensation in order to make that decision. So I had to be doing the right thing for clients, and I had to know that they were going to have a good experience in the transition. One thing that's interesting to note that I didn't fully appreciate until I landed here, so I would like to convey to those considering a move. Wells Fargo uses a hybrid outsourced approach to the transition process. That allowed us to do something, transitioning a complex book with collateral arrangements and other banking needs. That should have taken 4 or 5 months. It took 4 weeks. It was incredible. So no, there's nothing. I mean, that service, for example, is offered to producers at every level. The resources of the private bank, and by resources, I don't just mean the ability to execute a transaction. Other institutions offer some of those. They still don't offer the things that we do in real estate and in appraisal and estate planning, and there's a lot that this bank offers that others don't, but others can offer transactional services through a private bank-like service, right? What they can't offer is the depth of personnel. We have people here that have resumes. They're absolutely incredible, and that's another thing that I interviewed people in the different business units before I moved over. I didn't review their CVs. I did once I landed, and I was relying on them for some of these specialized services, and their CVs are incredibly impressive. So no, those services are open to a wider breadth of production levels and geographies, again, than any other firm on the street.
That's great. I know you've talked about it a little bit already, but how does Wells Fargo advisors incentivize your continued growth?
So in the grid itself, you are paid a greater amount. A good amount of that deferred compensation is in a chunk of it is indexed to growth. We are also incentivized to service multiple needs of a household, to address both sides of the balance sheet. And so the incentive there is about 50% more than it is at any other competitive institution. That being said, they also then provide the resources to execute those services, right? It's not just in these incredible people and resumes, it's in the volume of them. Many firms will have a singular loan executive that covers an entire region, like all of New York City and Westchester and Fairfield County. That's a huge, huge region, right? In terms of economic production and client need. How can one banker cover the debt needs of that entire client population? It's impossible. So what ends up happening is it bounces back to the advisors and their teams. Are all of the advisors equipped to execute that service in the best possible way in terms of knowledge, time, et cetera? Probably not. I would say very unlikely that they would be. Regardless, there's certainly a scale disadvantage, right? And so that's lost opportunity for the client, and it's lost opportunity for the institution, and especially the advisor. And that's what I'm talking about when I say scalability and resources. So it's incentivized in dollars that we can put back into the business through a very robust marketing platform, the most robust I've seen in the industry. And it's incentivized through actual hard resources, technology, and personnel, qualified personnel, to allow us to service all those needs as fast as we can bring them in.
That's great. How can advisors who are watching this video learn more?
I think the best thing to do is to get in touch. Go on the website. You can go to my website, reach out to me or any other advisor. I will say that again, the people advantage here is people are nice. They're very, very nice. Some of the nicest I've met on Wall Street. So I can't imagine that you'd pick up the phone, call any of them, and have a different experience. But I would encourage them to reach out to me. I would encourage them to reach out to some of my peers. I think you want to talk to people, advisors who have businesses that are reflective of the businesses and clients that you represent or hope to represent, maybe, and you'll get probably the most the best answers or the most applicable answers to your business.
That's great. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great. I think advisors are really going to learn a lot here. But if you want more information, you can go to wfa.com/due-diligence to learn more. Andrew, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for listening to this wealthmanagement.com Fast Chat.